Now, moving on to the NFC West, we have the Seattle Seahawks leading the division at 14-3.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Seahawks schedule, it definitely got a little bit harder, but you still have teams on there that I don't think are going to be that great, like the Giants, like the Carolina Panthers. I mean, it's definitely not an easy schedule by any means, but I do think that they will stay near the top of the division.
But yeah, going off what he said about this not being an easy schedule, it's not that difficult it's not that easy of a schedule.
Yeah.
For I think a slightly above average team, but for the reigning Super Bowl champions and how young these guys are, I think this will be a quite. I think there's a couple teams in here that are gonna be really easy. There's gonna be some dogfights in here, but this is gonna be a really high record team again, and I think they could easily win this NFC West again.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Seahawks, I think them to be honestly around a 14-3, maybe 15-2. I think they could. I think they're gonna either win a game or lose a game. So 15-2 or 13-4. But I think they're definitely gonna stay as a powerhouse.
Yeah, these guys are young. I think they have the money to do it, and I think these guys are gonna probably be 15-2 or 16-1 even. I think they have the talent there. They're young. They're aging well to get more experience aging. It's not gonna be like bad aging to where they're getting too old.
Yeah.
They're getting older for experience. I think that's why the Seahawks are going to lead this division again and probably be leading in the NFC again.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest worry there is Kenneth Walker if he will re-sign this free agency,
but
we'll
even if he doesn't, they get
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet again, and he's still really good.
Yeah.
But moving on to the Los Angeles Rams, who tied in second place but got it over divisional games at 12-5. Looking at their schedule, their home games seem pretty hard. Their away games are all right. It's not they're not too difficult away games, but their home games seem pretty difficult.
Yeah, I'd see the Rams sitting around where they are. Obviously, Devontae Adams is getting older. Matt Stafford's getting older. They are an older team, but they do have young elements to the team that are stars. I think I can see the Rams staying around to 12-5, maybe getting a game 13-4, maybe losing a game 11-6, but I think they will be playoff contenders again.
Yeah, I agree really close with that. I don't think they win a game. I think going off with what we say for the Seahawks, they're aging for experience.
Yeah.
I think these guys are going the opposite way. These guys are aging for bad. They're getting too old.
Yeah.
They have their main guys are those people getting too old. Their wide receiver 2 and Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Their quarterback and Matt Stafford are just getting too old for this team. They're gonna they'll probably wait one more season, draft a quarterback, but I think these guys go 10-7, 11-6.
Yeah.
That's my prediction right around there.
Yeah, so moving on to the 49ers here, who went 12-5 as well. They're an interesting team. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, who is pretty injury prone. George Kittle getting older. I mean, Brock Purdy, is he a system quarterback? What is he? You got Brandon Ayuk who wants out. It's an interesting team.
Yeah, I think these guys will come second in the division, going over the Rams, because they still have the defense. Their defense is their main thing. That's who they build around. They did not have their star defensive player that could have won Defensive Player of the Year if it wasn't for Myles Garrett breaking a record.
Yeah.
If he was also healthy all season too, in Fred Warner.
Yeah.
With him not playing a good bit of the games, their star guy on defense not there. Their offense is a slight bit of a worry, but for the most part, I think they're going to stay around the same on the offensive side of the ball. Other than George Kittle's getting a little old.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think these guys are going to probably be a 12-5, maybe 13-14. I think with them missing their main guy on defense, who's their leader of their defense, and their offense, I don't think it's going to change too much. I think they're probably going to get slightly better.
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing here, they obviously play the Rams and the Seahawks twice a year, which I think is a disaster. There, they also play Denver. Philadelphia, honestly, could beat them. I think there is a lot of room for losses here. So I think I'm going to sit around at 9-8, maybe 10-7 for the 49ers.
Yeah, and moving on to one of the worst teams in football going into this season, the Arizona Cardinals don't really know what they're doing. with do they keep Kyler? Do they get rid of Kyler? I personally don't think he's a guy. I think they should get rid of him.
Yeah.
I think they're wasting Maserati Marv. I think they're wasting his talent over there. I don't think they have any idea what they're doing. Their defense is just like non-existent.
Yeah.
And then you got James Conner as your starting running back.
Yeah, I mean, Trey McBride is the only and one light for this team. And he's even, if I was him, I'd want out. Just looking at their schedule, they obviously have to play the Rams, 49ers, and the Seahawks twice this year. Denver, Detroit, Philadelphia. They got dealt a bad hand, but they do have to play the Saints, the Giants, and the Raiders. So there is some opportunities, but I don't predict them going higher than 3-14 yet. I think they're going to sit around at 2-15, maybe 4-13.
These guys have not too bad of an away schedule. Their home schedule's bad. They're probably not going to win a game unless they beat the Raiders or Jets here. But going off that, it's their away schedule. They got Dallas, Kansas City, L.A. Chargers, New Orleans, and the New York Giants. But I think all those are good enough teams other than like New Orleans. But I think these guys are gonna probably go 2-15.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap it up here. Those are all 32 teams, our record predictions for next season. Obviously, they could vary depending on free agency signings, draft picks, what happens in the offseason.
Yeah, these rankings are based off of current teams. There's no adding on, no going away from them, but current teams right now, I think that these are good records going off that because we don't know who they're going to draft quite yet, and we don't know who they're going to sign in free agency quite yet.
Yeah.
That could change them, but signing off.
Yep. See you later.